What's up, guys? I'm back here with what is probably going to be the last video of 2024 for me. So I'm really happy to be finally filming this video. This is actually the update I wanted to do last video, but I decided not to because of my inconsistency here on YouTube. And here I am again doing the same thing after like 2.5 weeks. Whatever, I'm going to roll with it. But I got something special here today. This is an entire stack of straight Christian metal bands. I fell down the rabbit hole hard on this stuff because there's a lot of really good stuff that people do not talk about because people have an aversion to Christian metal in the metal scene. This is mostly black metal. There's some other stuff in there. There's some death metal here and there, thrash, this, that, and the other. But it's a good sized stack, so we're gonna get on it. What we're listening to in the background is Earthless by Doom Versus. Really great death doom on Solitude Productions. I think I've played this in a video before, but I don't remember how long ago it was. But I love the funeral death doom kind of sound. And we are drinking this Bigfoot Barley wine by Sierra Nevada. I don't know if I have drank this in a video quite yet, but I'm very fond of it. If you ever see it, grab it, because barley wines are kind of a rare commodity. And even when you do find them, they're usually expensive. And Sierra Nevada managed to produce one for $10 a 6-pack, which is amazing. So, Nasrovia. So if you're, that's good. If you're unfamiliar with barley wines, they're usually really high ABV beer, which this one is lighter than most, which is 9.6. So if that means anything to you, that I'm saying 9.6 is relatively light for a barley wine. They're usually in the double digits at least, usually in the lower end 11s, 12s. It's a really bready, heavy beer. Usually, sometimes they have a bit of a bitterness to them, almost like a funk. They're very tasty. I would highly recommend you drink some barley wines if you ever see them. Probably just one, because they are strong, and pace yourself with it because they are very tasty. But yeah, this is the special 2024 edition. Really great label of like Bigfoot scaring this like prospector guy. There you go. Love it. All right, let's get to business. The first thing I'm going to show here is like one of the most expensive CDs I have in my collection now. It is a split with the bands Sanctifica and Pantera. Really killer Swedish stuff. So Pantera is a death metal band and Sanctifica is a black metal band. So this is a split compilation, I guess you could call it, because it wasn't released originally as a split, but it is Sanctifica's first demo from 1998 and Pantocrator's first demo from 1998. The two releases are called In the Bleak Midwinter for Sanctifica and Even Unto the Ends of the Earth by Pantocrator. So Sanctifica is a band that has members of Crimson Moonlight and Skogan, and as well as Pantocrator. Now, I don't think that they were congruently in both bands at the same time, but this is a 2020 reissue. What's really good about these two bands is it's a very obvious demo, right? The quality of the music is really good, but the production is very demo quality, which I find to be very good. I don't know which side I like more. I would have to probably say the Sanctifica side more because I just tend to be more of a black metal guy. But the Pantocrator demo is very heavy in the percussive elements. It's got a really good groove to it, but it's not like groove metal. It's just kind of groovy death metal with a bit of that Swedish tinge. I would say it kind of reminds me of Cadaver from Norway, if you guys are familiar. Though I'm not particularly familiar with that band, the little bits I have sampled here and there, Pantocrator Grinder reminds me of that. Really good, and I'm going to keep talking about Sanctifica because I have another one of their albums here. This is their debut album, which is Spirit of Purity. This is their first album that came out in 2000. It's the only full-length I think that they ever put out. Oh, excuse me. It is the first full-length that they came out. I think they did another one. It's a really like good melodic black metal album. It's got touches of like melodic death metal here and there. I would say more in the heaviness department as opposed to the exact style, because there's a line. you know, between the melodic death and the melodic black metal that gets towed very often. But it's got great keyboards, some really cool stuff. Here and there, there's a handful of, I would say, I wouldn't say ridiculous amounts of keyboards, but there's a good amount of keyboards. Really, really cool if you like, you know, your late 90s campfire and stuff like that. Really, really solid black metal. Next, some traditional metal. As you guys know, I try to space this out genre-wise. This is Saint with the album Time's End. This is their 1986 debut album. They're from Salem, Oregon. Really, really cool stuff. I've always really liked this album cover, and I've seen it a bunch of times, and I didn't know they were a Christian band for a long time. But this is a really, really Judas Priesty album, kind of with like a lighter production. It's kind of thin to an extent. It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, the late 70s era of Judas Priest, even though it was from 86, so it's mid 80s. But you know, obviously a lot of these Christian bands didn't have a very high budget. Nonetheless, critical stuff if you like traditional metal. Check out Saint. Next, Eljabar, whatever you want to say, with the album War. This is a band from Poland, and there is a dude in this band named Fire. Fire is kind of like a big player in the Christian black metal scene, particularly in Poland. He kind of moved to, I think he moved to America and started doing a bunch of projects over here as well. But this is their 6th full-length album, so what year? 2009, I believe. So it's really, really Polish sounding. You know, it has a lot of that kind of pagan black metal sounds to it. I would akin it somewhere to like the demo era of Graveland. I don't know why my mind just blanked. I've been sick for a couple of days, but it's a really decent album. Kind of has that Gravelandy Bilsknir sound to it. That's Fire there. Yeah, it's decent enough. It's not amazing. It's not going to get put on the player a lot, but it is going to stay in the collection. Next, another classic. 2nd demo from Ancestor, Kong's Blood from 1997. Dude, this is such good black metal. This is such good black metal. This is stuff that you absolutely need to have in your collection. If you don't have this, you are missing out. Seriously, it is just some of the greatest true Norwegian black metal that there is. It's got all of the trimmings of it that you want. It rides a lot more under the early Emperor and early Enslaved camp. Maybe some stuff like that. You know, there's some keyboardy parts. Really good raw production, but not inaudibly raw production. Raw to a cold degree. Just, it's a great record. If you guys don't know Ancestor and you're watching an album, or if you're watching a collection video about Christian black metal, you're missing out. Really, really great. Next, I had this a long time ago. When I started collecting, I picked this up, but this is the album Through Hell by Dark Blaze Still. Let me pull out the digipack here. That's the album cover. You guys might have seen this. I feel like this album cover has been used for other things before. I don't remember exactly, but this is the one and only full length from this band. It's got a bit of like black metal tinges, I would say, but it kind of rides a lot in that melodic death metal camp too. It's one of these crappy digipacks. It's just like a knob in there. It kind of sounds like if the Black Dahlia Murder wanted to make a black metal album. So take that as you will, because I think the Black Dahlia Murder writes great songs, of course, but it has that feel to it, you know what I mean? That just general atmosphere that the Black Dahlia Murder has, but with a very obvious blackened tendency. And yeah, they're one and only full length, and then the band members went on to do other stuff. I don't know any of the other bands off the top of my head that those guys are also in. Next, Perpetual Defiance by, how do you say it? Detritus, I think is how you say it. This is a classic album. This is the UK band from 1990. This is their debut record. It's really like mid-paced thrash, kind of reminds me of Testament quite a bit. That's mostly all I can say about it because it didn't exactly stay for me, but this is an older pressing of this album, and it's definitely worth owning. But if you're like not, if you're in the mood for thrash, but you don't want the really cool thrash, the really good thrash, and you're just like want something, I don't know, something to help you appreciate other albums, which sounds kind of condescending, but something that's just good to put on that you don't have to pay a lot of attention to. It's not going to be overly distracting, but it's going to be a good background listen. I would say this is worth your time. Yeah, cool album cover, I'd say. Get a load of that guy. Yeah, very, very cool. Decent thrash. Nothing amazing, but decent enough thrash for sure. Alright, so I got a couple from Crimson Moonlight from Sweden. This is their compilation called Songs from the Archives. It came out in 2003. I mostly just bought this because it has the Eternal Emperor EP from 1998 on it, which is what I wanted. It's also got some cool live stuff from them playing in like Versus in 1998. And then there's just like miscellaneous tracks from throughout their albums up to this point. It's kind of cool to have the live tracks, even though you guys know I'm not a big live track for metal band kind of guy, just because it's like whatever. Most of the time it's usually just poor recordings of the regular songs. But in particular, I like this one because this band's demo is kind of difficult. It's called Glorification of the Master of Light. I don't have it. I would like to. I'll buy it eventually. But yeah, it's a cool comp. And then I have like their classic full-length album called The Covenant Progress. This is a 2003 debut. Everybody seems to know this one if they're going to talk about Crimson Moonlight. It's really, really cool, man. It's got some really cool symphonic elements, but it's got a really dark tinge to it. You know, it's not hokey and symphonic. It's like creepy classical music, kind of like you put Wagner to a black metal album. You know, a lot of the more symphonic bands are really goofy. This band isn't. It's got a really good swirling atmosphere to it. Kind of reminds me of the second Emperor record. And then the last one from Crimson Moonlight is this album, which is Divine Darkness from 2016. It is their most recent album, and it's really, really good. It sounds kind of like if Watain wasn't mind-numbingly boring. I'm not a big Watain guy, so I would say that this is a better thing for you to be listening to. Really good album from this band. Yeah, Swedish black metal at its finest. Really, really great. Then this is something I've just been like glued to. These next two actually are things that I've been a huge fan of ever since I bought them. This is Hymnos de Ceremonia Funebre by Beeroth. So Beeroth is a Mexican black metal band. Just killer raw black metal. It is a 2003 first demo, and it is a must-have, dude. If you like raw black metal, I would say this is absolutely worth your time. It's a solo project, I think, of one of the members of Horor. Excuse me. Yeah, so he is everything except for like some guest people that are playing on the album, with my mild ability to figure out what this means in Spanish, which is not very good. I don't have a lot of skills in Spanish, but it's a 2007 repress of this 2003 demo. Really good keyboards and that raw production. Just, oh, dude, chef's kiss. Absolutely chef's kiss. Love it. I would highly recommend you pick this up. And also, this album seemed to have captivated me a lot. This is the band Eulogium, and then the Transcendence of Hope is the album. So this is a black metal band from the United States, particularly in Texas. It's their second full-length from 2009. And it's just got a really good style of like mid-paced black metal, not blasty, over-the-top, annoying black metal. It has a really similar style to like Satiricon, the early stuff of that band. Really good stuff. Seriously, I don't know what it was about this, but it just like had to have hit me at the perfect time because I just kept revisiting this. I think this and maybe the Sanctifica full-length and the Beeroth album, or the Beeroth demo, have been like the most listened to things out of the stack for me. I've just been really all about it. I would highly recommend this if you like Satiricon. Eulogium, like I always say, guys, if you ever want me to tell you exactly what this is, just comment like the timestamp and ask what the album is, I will gladly do it for you. I will gladly look at it and see what it is. I'm just not going to put every album in the description because frankly, I don't get enough views to warrant it, which is whatever. I'm not out here begging for views or anything. It's just like I wouldn't want to put the work in because it would make me never want to make a video. I think it would be annoying, but that's just me. So, like I said, if you want to know the albums, I got you. Just hit it in the description. This is the band Theocracy. This is their first album from 2003. This band is from Georgia in the United States. Really, really great. So it started off as a solo project by a dude named Matt Smith, who I don't know if he's ever been in any other bands, but it's like a mid-paced proggy power metal. Really cool stuff. I've like been all about some prog lately. I didn't want to play any like prog rock in the background because I figured I would get flagged in the video. So this is just really, really great. If you like your progressive stuff and you like the power metal style, I think you'd like Theocracy. But odds are, I feel like you probably know this band if you already do like that kind of stuff. This album is really cinematic. It has a great sense for world building. I would highly recommend this to anybody who likes anything like that. Next, something that I like took out of my cart in a different order and then wound up getting for cheaper off Discogs, so that worked out really nice. But this is the band Sinove, and this is an Aussie band. This is their debut album from 2003. So they fancy themselves, on the Metal Archives at least, as a Black Doom band, but I am not getting a doom element really here. There's some clean vocals, and it's more like a mid-paced melodic black metal album as opposed to like a proper a doom album. It doesn't really have a lot of that element to it. But if you like melodic black metal and you want it to be kind of eerie and a little bit slower, it's not like Sarcasm or anything like that. It's gonna have this is worth your time. It's not amazing. Don't go out and pay like $30 for this for sure, but it's cool. The clean vocals are fine. They are there, but the production is a lot of the redeeming quality for it. It's good and clean, and it's not like overwhelmingly clean, which can happen pretty easily with a super polished production style. But it's worth your time. Check out Sinove. I'm gonna get a couple more here, 3 to be exact. So this is something that I was not particularly impressed with, sadly, but this is Ceremonial Sacred with the Our War is Only Against Hell. So this is a symphonic black metal band from Brazil, I want to say it is. Yes, Brazil. I wrote some notes down here, that's why I keep looking down here. But this is their 2005 debut. Both of the guys in this band are brothers. So I guess it's kind of cool that like this is their sibling thing to do. I guess this is, some siblings play like frisbee golf. These guys make Christian symphonic black metal albums, so it's cool. But yeah, it's all right enough. It's not amazing. It's kind of disappointing in the sense of like it just has no grasping qualities. It's a good background black metal album. It's not really my favorite thing in the whole world. But again, it's good enough to stay in my collection. The production is a little bit flat on it. And I think that also kills a bit of the atmosphere for me. But worth owning. I would say give it a listen. Make your own opinion on it. Next, Horor, Depths of Darkness. You guys have heard me mention this multiple times. This band, I have a bunch of their stuff. I bought some stuff from their web shop, and then I've just like randomly found their things throughout, just shopping throughout the years. So this is a cool cool comp, I guess. I wouldn't have bought this if I knew it was a compilation, to be honest with you. But now that I have it, I'm not going to get rid of it or anything. So they made this compilation of all the music up to this point, which was 2019. So it was most of their catalog. But they did this as like a commemorative thing for their first European show, which is very, very cool. But because it is a compilation, the production is really varied. It's really inconsistent in that way, and so you're probably pretty prone to liking certain songs more than you like others. which is this, that, and the other. Who cares? Whatever. I would recommend this comp for people that aren't super familiar with Horor, because they have a really good style of black metal. They kind of remind me of the Immortal style, but done in just like a definitively Latin way. As you know, a lot of the Latin American and South American countries have a lot of similarities in style. They have like a very aggressive style, a really raw production usually, and this band doesn't always have that, but it's really, really decent stuff. I would highly recommend checking out Horor in general. This comp is a good place to start. Really cool. And I'm going to end it with something not too great. So this is Psychosurgery by Tourniquet. It seems as if this is the fan favorite album from this band. Somehow, it is beyond me, but it's their second album from 1991. This band's from LA. It's classified as thrash and groove metal, which I would say is pretty accurate, but there's kind of this really, really stupid song on here. I think it's called Spineless. It is like a rap metal, funk metal. It kind of reminds me of Infectious Grooves, which is garbage. I couldn't imagine liking that. If you do, whatever, but I am not the guy that's out here trying to listen to the funk metal. Yeah, dude, the rap track really tore me out of everything here. But it's okay in certain spots. It kind of keeps a pretty low pace, mid pace. Not the best they've ever done. Their debut was much, much better. But whatever, man. What am I supposed to tell you? It's Tourniquet. You guys have all heard this band. So I'm going to call it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's going to be the last of it here. So I'll catch y'all later. Keep it greasy. Happy New Year as well.